All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA regular season video. In this video, we are going to talk about the WNBA trade deadline that is looming. The trade deadline's on Sunday, I believe 3 p.m. on Sunday. We don't have a lot of rumors floating around. We have some hearsay about teams making some calls and doing their due diligence, of course. But the only real story we have thus far is my favorite player, one of my favorite players, the lady that got me into women's basketball, Kelsey Plum, potentially being on the move again. And this would be her third team. She played for the Aces. Loved her when she was with the Aces. Got traded to the Sparks because she wanted a bigger role. She wanted to have more responsibility, and she's done well over there. The front office, the coaching hasn't been great over in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, give some reasons why it hasn't worked in Los Angeles. But there is some looming ideas that she could be traded, and I have a couple ideas. I'm going to get through them. Two of them I think are really good. The third one is sort of just out there, like crazy, wacky, and fun. But if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So, like I said, Kelsey Plum is one of my favorite players. Got me into women's basketball. I have a bit of a soft spot for her. I still think she's supremely talented. I think she's a great locker room presence. She does have her deficiencies at certain points of the game. I think she thinks a little too highly of herself, and that's not disrespect. It's just saying, like, she thinks she can probably be the number one on a championship team, and, like, it's very rare for small guards to be the best player on a championship team. It's very rare, especially Kelsey's archetype. And I've watched Kelsey since she first started getting real minutes, since she first was just sitting on the bench in San Antonio under Bill Laimbeer. Um, I know these things. And I feel very confident speaking about Kelsey in the way I speak about her because I have a lot of respect for her as a player. That being said, it's very hard to find destinations for her because of her archetype, but also because a lot of teams are already set in their point guard rotation, unless Kelsey wants to go back to being a six player, which I don't think she does. Um, it's hard to find destinations for. I managed to find two, three. It's really three that I think are feasible. The third one I kind of made weird, but you can probably simplify it a little bit. I will get through these first, and then, like I said, we will get to what went wrong in Los Angeles. Because when she got traded to Los Angeles, I thought it was perfect for her. I thought she had all the runway to become the player she wants to be. She has dealt with injuries this year, or just a lingering injury this year, which is unfortunate. And now it just has all gone wrong in Los Angeles. And the main thing for me when I've done these trades is I'm trying to recoup some assets for Los Angeles because Kelsey Plum isn't a depreciating asset. She's a very highly sought after asset, I think. Um, but teams in these trades, they have to give up stuff. So if I talk about your favorite team and I'm giving up X player, Y player, it's just I look at it as fair business. I have none of these teams I really care about. I have no like ill will or like I love this team. I just I just think fair value for fair value is what it is. So getting into the first one here, we're gonna talk about the Atlanta Dream, and this one kind of sparked in my brain, popped into my head because last night the Atlanta Dream played the Dallas Wings in a very close game. But one of their players, Ryan Howard, was a touchy subject because I think some Dream fans are sort of fed up with Ryan Howard with how inconsistent she is, how like year after year it's the same numbers. She's good enough to be an all-star. She's an all-star level player, all WNBA level player, but hasn't really reached her fullest potential quite yet. She's only 26, so she's just entering her prime basically. But she's only 2 years older than Angel Reese. She hasn't really improved that much. And maybe this is like jumping the gun a little early. Maybe you don't do this mid-season because it might mess up the locker room. Not to say Kelsey Plum's like a locker room distraction or anything, but you try not to mess up like the good vibes in a locker room. But with that same token, the Atlanta Dream are trying to go for a championship, and you don't go for a championship just sitting on your hands doing nothing. Um, The Atlanta Dream are very plentiful at the forward spots. Naz Hamlin, Brianna Jones, Angel Reese, Okot. They have plenty of guard depth too. They don't play that much, but plenty of guard depth. And my idea last night was like, why don't you just do Ryan Howard for Kelsey Plum straight up? Because Kelsey Plum's only she's making $1 million basically, but it's $999 on the official page. Ryan Howard's making $1,100,000 this year. She is not an expiring. I believe you have her under. Let me see here. How long is she under contract? I think she's tied up for a long time. Yeah, she's tied up for a long time. She's tied up till 2028. So you're gonna have Ryan Howard if you trade for her. You're gonna have her for a couple years now, and she's gonna be entering her. She's gonna be still entering her prime. And I don't know about the basketball fit with this one, but I think it would solve some of the inconsistencies of Ryan Howard. I do worry about losing that versatile player in Ryan Howard who can play guard and forward. But like I said, you have a bunch of depth at the guard and forward spots. You have Jordan Canada. Maybe you move Alicia Gray up to a forward spot and you run Jordan Canada and Kelsey Plum in the backcourt, like officially, but like Chelsea Gray obviously still has some, not Chelsea Gray, Alicia Gray still has some ball handling responsibilities because she's such a great player as well. And if you don't like it, Kelsey Plum's going to be off the books. She's an expiring contract. You run it this year. If it doesn't work out, maybe you don't bring her back. I am throwing Los Angeles Ryan Howard and a 2028 first round pick from the Atlanta Dream. So the Sparks are getting something. They're getting a future 2028 pick and they're getting Ryan Howard. This is all predicated on if the Sparks still want to compete. I feel like Ryan Howard's on the same timeline as like a Ray Burrell, Cam Brink, what would have been Rickea Jackson, but she's not there anymore. And she's also, you can kind of still pretend to compete because you have like NECA and what's the other player's name? I'm forgetting her name. The one who hasn't played that well, Ariel Atkins. I can still see that from their perspective as well. But going more in depth for this for Kelsey, I do like it. She's a championship level player. She's the only championship level player on this dream team, I think, because I don't think Brianna Jones has won a championship. Oh, Aaliyah Nye's on here, but she was a bench player on the Aces, so she didn't really participate in that season. Championship experience, knows what a championship locker room is supposed to look like. I don't think she would disrupt the vibes that much. I think Carl Semesco, the Atlanta Dream head coach, can work very well with Kelsey Plum. I feel like they can hide Kelsey Plum on defense a little bit if they need to. And I think it's just the consistency from me from Kelsey Plum. Not saying Kelsey Plum isn't inconsistent or shoots her team out of games, but I feel like if the Atlanta Dream are going to go for it, you need to like really go for it. You can wait till the offseason to maybe restructure this roster a little bit, but I think every year that you don't compete is every year that, Alicia Gray gets older, Brianna Jones gets older, Naz Hamlin gets older, Angel Reese gets older, and some of that might be very positive for you, for some of these players getting older, but this team is gonna get more expensive. You're not gonna be able to have so many $1 million players on your team. Some players are gonna have to take pay cuts. And again, if you don't like it at the end of the year, this is a midseason trade. So Kelsey Plum's gonna go to Atlanta midseason. She's going to play there for the remainder of the regular season, some of the playoffs. You don't win the championship. You don't like the fit. You just don't keep her. You let her walk. And all you lost was, you lost Ryan Howard in the first round pick, but maybe you get a first round pick back. Maybe you can negotiate a pick swap instead. Like Atlanta and Los Angeles swap picks instead of just a straight up Atlanta giving Los Angeles a pick. I would have to see this on the court. I don't know if I love it, but it was just something that I was like, Sparks are disgruntled, or even Kelsey Plum's disgruntled with the Sparks. Fans are disgruntled with Ryan Howard. I know Ryan Howard's a deeply favored player in Atlanta, but you don't win championships being deeply favored and underperforming. You just don't. So there's that part of it. Moving on here. Let's move on to the next trade. Now this one makes a lot of sense to me, and you guys can tell me down below if it makes a lot of sense to you. Um, this one's involving the Phoenix Mercury, who are what they say last night, 5 games back from being in the playoffs. So they're going to try to make a playoff push. They're making a playoff push. What am I trying to say? They need bodies. They need not ball hands, but they need experienced players, right? And again, like I said at the top, to get something, you need to give something up. And this might hurt some Phoenix Mercury fans, but this is the nature of the business. This trade I've cooked up here is Kelsey Plum, Nneka Ogwumike from going from Los Angeles to Phoenix, and then going from Phoenix to Los Angeles, Kahleah Copper, Sammy Whitcomb, and a 2028 first round pick. Yeah. So the Los Angeles Sparks can still pretend to compete a little bit with Kahleah Copper, with Sammy Whitcomb. Sammy's not expiring, Kahleah Copper's not expiring, so you're gonna have those ladies for a couple years after this deal, hopefully. Um, the Phoenix Mercury get Kelsey Plum. That's basically a supercharged version of Sammy Whitcomb. Great, can be a great catch and shoot player, Kelsey Plum. You can give her some responsibilities with the ball when players like Alyssa Thomas, Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas is the playmaker on this team, but Kelsey Plum can do a little bit of playmaking, can do a little bit of scoring. Obviously, Nneka can do that as well. It does become a little crowded in the front court because it's like Thomas, Bonner, Nneka. Ooh, and then you like actually need a center, so like Akomakani, Natasha Mack is also back and healthy. It becomes very, but I would rather have a lot of bodies to throw at players like Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, all those forwards and shifty players they have in Golden State. Indiana has some forwards that you just want to deal with. New York, Jonquel Jones, Breanna Stewart. I'd rather have a surplus of forwards in the playoffs. Now that's if they make the playoffs. This is a winner go. This is a winner go home move for the Phoenix Mercury. You're giving up a player who's done everything for you this season in Kahleah Copper. You're giving up a player who's coming off an injury but still is good in Sammy Whitcomb, and you're giving it up for Kelsey Plum and Nneka. And I think this should be a boom or bust move for Phoenix. This is Phoenix calling Los Angeles. This isn't Los Angeles calling Phoenix. I think if I think if I think if Los Angeles called Phoenix, Phoenix would be like no, because it's just an into their mind. But if Phoenix called Los Angeles, I think Los Angeles would think about it deeply. I think they would. If this doesn't work in a hypothetical universe where this trade does go through and it happens, and the Mercury don't make the playoffs, I think everybody gets fired. I think the front office is done. I think the coach is done. I think Kelsey Plum leaves. And I think Alyssa Thomas and Nneka and everybody else requests trades. And this team is completely different next year. But I think this is more of a bigger risk for the Mercury than the Sparks. Because the Sparks get Kahleah Copper, Sammy, and they get first round pick. And you basically trade in Kelsey Plum and Nneka for Kahleah Copper, who how old is Kahleah Copper? She's no spring chicken anymore. I think she's like 30s, 20, 28. Oh, yeah, she's 28. Yeah. Oh, she was born August 20th. She's 30. She's 31. Yeah, damn. So you have Kahleah Copper, the Sparks would. You have her for next season as well, and then she's unrestricted. Maybe you could flip her again at some point if you really want to, but yeah, I thought this one was interesting because the Mercury sort of need to make this push now, and I think this would be the second most bonkers trade that could happen because it involves Nneka and Plum, and it results in a team desperate to make the playoffs making a desperate move. And yeah, let's move on to the last trade I have here. Now this one is interesting to me because the bones of this, I'm just gonna say it. Come on, say it. Is Kelsey Plum to Golden State? Golden State needs a guard. It needs a real guard because they really don't have one. They have Veronica Burton, who is okay in spots. It's more of a two than a one. I'm not saying Kelsey Plum is an official one, a point guard, but at least she has some experience actually doing that at a championship level. And it relieves some pressure for players like Caitlin Chen to really have to step up off the bench every night. Tiffany Hayes, um, Veronica Burton carrying that heavy load. It brings in a player, like I said, with all the other ones, that Kelsey Plum's a very experienced player and a very talented player. But in this version of the trade, which again, the bare bones one that I've seen online is just Kelsey Plum to the Valkyries, straight up, right, for whatever and whatever. But this one I've made a bit more interesting. I've made it a lot more interesting. Um, the Golden State Valkyries would receive Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink, and the Los Angeles Sparks would receive Kayla Thornton, Xander Lassini, Jostis, and either a first round pick or a second round pick going to Los Angeles from Golden State. You might say that's a lot for um, Golden State to give up. Why would they do that? Well, they have Kia Stokes, who's their full time center, right? A lot of these games that I've watched of Kia Stokes, she's fouled out not because she's playing bad this season, because she has to play so many minutes and have to throw her out there so much. You bring in Cam Brick, who is a similar player, but I feel like two negative players that get in a lot of foul trouble will keep each other out of foul trouble. So you have Cam Brink as like a backup or a starter with Kia Stokes. You bolster your center rotation, and you get that guard that you want from the Los Angeles Sparks as well, and Kelsey Plum. And if you're telling me a team of Kelsey Plum, Veronica Burton, Gabby Williams, Cam Brink, and Kia Stokes, or even Cam Brink at the five, and then Salon starting, or one of these other players is starting. That I think that really pushes the Golden State Valkyries over the top to be top three in championship favorites. I mean, you're gonna have to pray Cam Brink's healthy. This is a real maybe even the Golden State Falcons would ask for a pick. Would ask for a pick as compensation if Cam Brink gets injured. Just as like insurance. Um, yeah, this trade, now that I'm talking about it, doesn't sound too crazy. when I did this last night before I went to bed, I was like, this sounds crazy. I'm gonna look like a crazy person if I say this out loud. And now that I've said it out loud, I don't feel too crazy about it. I mean, maybe the Valkyries want to give up less. I mean, maybe you get to keep Xander Lassini or Joseph, but you have to make the money work, and that's how you make the money work. And then also LA would have to waive one player in the process of doing this trade from their current roster. So there's that as well. So let me know what you think about those two trades. So the two trades I have are, or the three trades: Kelsey Plum to Atlanta for Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum to Phoenix with NECA for Kalia Copper and Semi Whitcomb, and the last one we just talked about: Kelsey Plum, Cam Brink to the Valkyries, and the Los Angeles Sparks get Kayla Thornton, Xander Lassini, and Jostis, along with either a second round pick or first round pick, and maybe some picks will be swapped in there as well for the Valkyries. Let me know what you think about those trades. Now we can get into what's going wrong with the Sparks. All right. What is going wrong with the Sparks, man? I'm not going to say anything new. I'm not going to say anything revolutionary in this part of the video because I think it's been well documented what's going wrong with the Sparks. Like I said at the top, the coaching is abysmal. The front office, I think they got rid of their front office person, or they fired that person. No, I think they fired that person. So there's a front office without like a head of basketball operations or like an official GM. So it's just like a brain trust of people cooking up some of these trades now as well. Um, First off, the first thing I want to say is I said at the beginning of this season, and in sort of my beginning stages when we talked about like the first week of the season, um, I said the Sparks need to start off hot because they can't fall into trap. They can't fall into the trap that they did last year, where they get so far back in the standings that they just have to make this insane push at the end to just barely either make the playoffs or miss the playoffs. And they missed the playoff last year. They missed it by like 1 or 2 games. Um, and I said they would need to start hot, and if they trail back a little bit, then that means they can bounce back, and it makes the journey a little bit easier on the back end of the season. They haven't done that at all. It's been an absolute season from hell. Cam Brink's been in and out with injuries. Kelsey Plum, the most devastating injury of them all. Their big time player that they paid for, um, Ariel Atkins has been bad. She's been awful, been awful, been awful. She's one of your highest paid players, and she's been awful. I don't care what the numbers say now. Just visually watching her, she's been awful. She doesn't do anything out there. She plays a little bit of defense, and that's it. She's out there doing cardio, um, and it's been a really rough season. And the coaching hasn't helped. Um, just weird rotations, and then leading into the roster, because the roster is attached to the coaching. This was said at the beginning of the year, and I didn't believe it. And then after a little bit before All Star break, I was like, nah, this is real. People were saying they're the biggest fake contenders this year, and when I tell you, you got to watch this team because they have moments. They had a moment earlier this year where they beat the Liberty, and they looked like really good. They looked amazing, and they haven't been able to recapture any of that. You have a team of young players, right? The younger players, right? Ray Burrell, 26, Cam Brink, 24, um, Kate Martin, 26, who they picked up midseason. Um, those are your young players now because they trade some of them as well. And then you have your older players: Ariel Atkins, 29, not Isaiah Cannon, Emma Cannon, 37, Derica Hamby, 32, NECA, 36, Kelsey Plum, 31, Erica Wheeler, 35. This front office thought, okay, you know what? We have this really young, good core. We had Rakia Jackson, we have Cam Brink, we have Ray Burrell, we had Kelsey Plum. It was a good season. It was a good progression season. You know what? Let's bring in more vets to soak up these young guys, these young ladies' minutes, so they can't progress anymore. Let's bring in Ariel Atkins so she can take Ray Burrell's minutes. Let's bring in, no disrespect, let's bring in another forward, another center-ish player in NECA to take minutes away from Cam Brink. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And the GM at the time thought that was a good idea. And I think everybody was sort of like weirdly optimistic about this team. Like, oh, maybe it could work. NECA's a really good player. I had NECA rated as my second best player coming into this season, and she hasn't been that. And I had to like demote her to like fourth, I think, in my last video. The Cam Brink thing is what it is. I feel so bad for Cam because like she's so talented and she was so good in college, and ever since she had that knee injury in her rookie year, she hasn't been able to get the minutes that she needs to progress the way she should have. And the coaching not letting her play in foul trouble, not letting her learn, doesn't help either. Ray Burrell has had some inspiring minutes um, this season, but she needs more time. She needs more. This is gonna sound weird. She needs more time in the oven. You know, she's not fully cooked. She's not fully baked. She needs more time to get to that point. And you look at another player who's in this older category of like Derica Hamby, who is a former ace who I really liked on the Aces. I'm starting to think the Aces were the only place that Derica Hamby could play. I'm really starting to think that because I feel like I said this, and I feel so bad when I say it, but I feel like her game is so gimmicky. Like there are games where like she can give you like 20 points and like 15 rebounds, and she's hitting threes and she's bringing up the ball and she looks really good. And there are other games where you're like, what the hell she's doing out there, right? And this is somebody else who was, I believe, her and Cam Brink arrived at the same time in Los Angeles, or very close to each other. These two players were gonna have to play together, and I'm starting to think they can't play together. They just can't play together. Cam Brink and Hamby just can't play together. It just doesn't work. It's just too weird. It's just too wonky. And you look at the rest of this team, um, like there are these small little players. Like by little I mean like role players. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Um, You bring in Kate Martin. She's barely played. I know she's on a developmental contract, so she can't play that much. But oh no, is she? No, she's on a standard contract. They're just not playing her. Kate Martin needs to play more. She's a shooter. You don't have a lot of shooters on this team. A dependable shooter. Um, it's just been a bad season all the way around, and I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs at this point. I looked at the remaining schedule. It's not great. It's not great. They have a bunch of more games left here. There's only they only play teams that are below them in the standings. Right now they're at 10. Chicago, Connecticut, and Seattle are the only teams below them. And Chicago isn't even that far behind, only one game back from them. Oh yeah, 1.5 games back from them. I look at the rest of their schedule here in order. It's Portland, it's Chicago, it's Minnesota, it's Golden State, it's Phoenix, it's New York, it's Washington, it's Connecticut, Atlanta, Connecticut, Atlanta, Washington, Seattle, Dallas, Portland, Las Vegas, Golden State. So in this last month, in this last month of basketball, in August, you play Chicago once, you play Connecticut twice, and that's it. And then you play Seattle at the end of the month. Those are the only teams that are below you in the standing. Every other team is above you in the standing and is locking in for the playoffs. They are locked in. Unless they make a trade midseason, they are locked in with their roster. They are locked in with their team. And you're dealing with all this turmoil. No GM at the helm. The coaching sucks. I wouldn't be surprised if the last game of the season ends and they just fire the coach right after and they tell their packer bags go home. Because she's just been awful. She's been terrible. They're gonna play at home in Los Angeles against Golden State. She's gonna get fired. um, do I have any other thoughts about this team? Um, I think this is a team of if could should. Uh, it's I don't even know how I thought about this team at the beginning of the season. I think I was optimistic because I was like, Neck is really good. She's coming home back to Los Angeles. I thought Cam Brink might have finally broken through that ceiling of not of being unhealthy, to no fault of her own, just being banged up every now and then. I didn't know what to think about Ariel Atkins. I thought she was okay last year. I wasn't blown away, and I'm still not blown away by her. I thought Ray Burrell would take more of a step. I feel like she has, but the minutes just aren't there for her to play that much. Um, I hate when players bring in these old. I hate when teams bring in these older players like Emma Cannon, like Erica Wheeler, that they're pretending to compete because they're bringing in veteran players, but there's nothing to compete for. Like Emma Cannon wasn't going to help you win a championship. Erica Wheeler wasn't going to help you win a championship. I'm sorry, I just have to come out and say it. They're not going to help you win championships. And like you're just taking up roster spots from other people that probably should be playing and time that should be being dealt to players that deserve it. Um, it's just been a mess over there, and I don't know what the fix is. There's obviously like the the crazy fans of like Los Angeles Sparks that like just bring in Lisa Leslie to coach the team and do this and do that and whatever. It's like I don't know if there's any saving this team. I don't know if there's like back to square one for this team. I'm gonna have to let me see here. Do they have? Let me see their draft picks. Can I see their? Let me see their draft picks. Oh my god, I gotta see if they have any draft picks this year. Yeah, they have a bunch of draft picks going forward. They have a 2027 first rounder. They have two 2027 second rounders. They have a 28 first rounder. And they have a 28 second rounder. They got stuff in the back pocket if you want to do a rebuild or retooling. I mean, to be honest, you've been bad enough to to warrant getting a good draft pick. I mean, we can go look at Tankathon right now and let me pull it up. Tankathon. To get a halfway decent draft pick, I mean, hey, let me see the mock draft here. Right now, you're sitting at 6. Yeah, you're sitting at 6, and is it their own pick? Yeah, it's their own pick. It's their own pick. Just they own it. If you could get up to if you could get bad, if you could be bad enough to get up to 3, maybe, maybe there's some hope. Maybe there's some hope that like Hannah Hidalgo's there or Michaela Williams or yeah, there's some hope. Cole Kitts is here at 12. Damn. There's some hope in some universe where you can be really good. You can have really good draft positioning. I just don't know if they want to, because it's so hard sometimes for people to admit their failures. And this team has been another failure. Let's just be honest, you know. And I want to be fair to the players. It's not all their fault. Some of it is it's on the floor stuff. It's this and that. It's bad games here and there, but this mostly goes on the coach and whoever was making the decisions at the time. Um, Maybe because that person isn't there anymore, they can commit to a tank mid-season and just like do whatever they need to do to get up in the draft. Because again, they're at 6 right now. 6 isn't bad. You could work your way up. I don't think you're gonna work your way up. Maybe Sun and the only team that's in your way really by merit is the Storm, and the Storm could win a couple games if you were really trying to be bad. You could lose. I'm not trying to endorse losing or tanking, but at this point, you know this team just says the only way to go back up is to go down for a little bit, and I don't know if they want to go down right now. So we'll see. That's it. I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. Again, noisiest neighborhood in the whole country, but here we are. Yeah, that's it. I can't even think with this noise in the background. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, that's it. That's the Kelsey Plum video. One of my favorite players. I really hoped it would work out in Los Angeles. It hasn't. I hope the next team that she's on is actually competing, is actually taking this stuff seriously. Because again, she's a very supremely talented player, and I hope nothing but the best for her. And she's getting up there in age, so this I hope this isn't. Well, I hope this is her last stop, and she could finally be somewhere and play the rest of her career and be successful. Um, for Los Angeles, um, you gotta get your stuff together, man. You gotta get your stuff together. It's been back-to-back seasons of disappointment, and after a while, I think that wears people down, and that wears like even just mentally. You're just like, ugh, this team is supposed to be like a premier team, and this has been said a lot also. Like, if Chicago wasn't so badly ran, the Chicago Sky, the Sparks would definitely be be the worst. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. Check out the video on the left. Check out the playlist on the right. Hopefully soon we'll get a resolution to this Kelsey Plum stuff because I would enjoy that. We will see. And if you click my little icon right in the middle of the screen, a little subscribe button will pop up, and you can subscribe with ease. Like and comment as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.